Yeah, man. Today's main event, we're talking about fuel to the fire, how to use pain and frustration to win. Okay. So it kind of ties into what I was just talking about. What do you do when things aren't going right? What do you do when the situation just is not in your favor? It was the same, like this applies to me. This week I'm having a horrible fucking week. I'm having a horrible week this week. You know what I'm saying? There's things I could have controlled. There's things I can't control. But overall, it just has been a very fucking horrible week. Now, it's very easy for me to be this frustrated, right? And sedate myself, turn myself to things that are going to bring me a quick pleasure, a quick dopamine hit. I could go get drunk right now. I can go get high. I can go fuck around and gamble and make some money. I can do anything right now that's going to put me in a state of happiness temporarily. But guess what, man? You still got to face whatever it is that you're facing. You still have to face whatever it is that you're dealing with. So running from the problem is never going to change anything. So a lot of y'all that try to run from your problems right now, a lot of y'all that are running from problems, a lot of you guys that are running from situations because you can't afford to face them head on or you're scared of facing them head on, bro, you're playing a never winning game. You're never going to win that game. You're never going to win that game because the problem is still going to be there. So, in this situation, a lot of us have pain, a lot of us have trauma, a lot of us have, things that happened to us in the past or happening currently. The question is, how do you use that? How do you use that pain? How do you use that frustration and channel it into whatever it is that you're working on? This is why it's so important, man, to have some purpose. Like waking up every day knowing that you have a goal that needs to be attained. If you don't have that, it's going to be hard to do this. It's going to be hard to channel your frustration and pain into what you're doing. Because if you're not working on nothing, then it doesn't fucking matter. You need to be busy. You need to be working towards something for this to work. Anybody that ever said you ain't good enough, you can't make it, you're not qualified. If you don't have a purpose, if you don't have anything that you're working on or currently, if you're not working on something that you're striving to become or be, then it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help you get there. You don't have anything, an outlet to channel that frustration into. There's nothing that you can put that frustration and pain into if you don't have anything that you're working towards. What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? What are your short-term goals in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, these are things you have to ask yourself. I've had plenty of people that felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't going to do this. How I told you guys earlier, my goal was to be one of the biggest celebrity trainers in LA. That was my main goal. When I told people that, I had people that laughed. I had people that, thought I wasn't gonna do it. I had people that told me my dreams were too big. Bro, funny ass story. All right, story time. And I don't like talking about my ex girlfriends or whatever. I'm not gonna say no names. But story time. I had an ex girlfriend. This was years ago. This was before I had moved to LA. And I would always tell her about my goals, right? It didn't become a big thing until I told her that, until she knew I was moving to LA. And when that day got closer, I started noticing her energy shift, right? One day, I told her again, I reminded her of my goals. I was like, look, I think we were in an argument or some shit. I said, look, I'm planning on becoming one of the biggest celebrity trainers in LA. You know what she's Do you know what she told me? She said, I don't know why. What did she say? I'm trying to remember. Oh, she said, I don't know what makes you think you're going to be different from any trainer out there. There's so many trainers. What's going to make you stand out? And from there, I was like, oh shit. Like you are you are my enemy. It hit me. You're my enemy. You don't believe in me. You're my op. You know? I wasn't mad, but I was disappointed. But I didn't let that stop me. I didn't let somebody that I felt like was supposed to be my significant other, the one that was supposed to be building me up, the one that was supposed to be speaking life into me. I didn't let that stop me. Because in that moment, she was speaking death into me. She was speaking death into my dreams. And all I did was just use that because at that point, I knew we were pretty much done at that point. I knew we weren't going to make it. I moved to LA. Maybe a couple months later, we broke up. But I never forget that. I never forgot that. I always remember what she said, you know, and that shit stuck with me. And then I got into my internship. I started being mentored by one of the biggest trainers in the game. And eventually, guess what happened? I started training celebrities. Oh yeah, it happened. But I never used that. I never looked at that and thought that that was what she said was gonna be true. I never used that as, man, maybe she's right. I never second guessed myself. You know, the disappointment that I felt in that moment, the pain that I felt in that moment. I wasn't even mad, man. I was just disappointed, bro. I was disappointed in her. I was disappointed in what I thought we were. I'm like, damn, I thought this was a like we're supposed to be one, right? I thought we were supposed to be bigging each other up, not down. Ain't that what a relationship is? But in that moment, I learned, bro. In that moment, I learned, and I used that to channel that into what I was doing. And I do it every single day. Anytime someone ever doubted me, anytime someone ever, felt like I couldn't do something, my goal is to always prove them wrong. But then I started getting older, man, and I was like, man, fuck their opinion. I need to prove myself right. I know I can do this. I know I can get there. Fuck what they talking about, bro. They might be in the same position, you know, that they're in 10 years. They might not go nowhere because usually people that think like that speak down on people, they usually don't go nowhere. They're usually going to be in the same spot or worse, or just settle with someone on their level that ain't shit either. And they're just going to live one boring ass, mediocre life. That's the reality. And I'm not saying that to shit on anybody, but that's just the reality. So I never really cared about what anyone ever thought about me or my goals. It's very hard. Stop telling people your goals, man. Stop telling people your goals. A lot of times they're not prepared for it. A lot of times they don't want to see you reach their goals because deep down they know they ain't shit. They know they will never get anywhere in life because of their mindset. They have a loser mindset. So don't don't sweat too hard about what people say about you or what they think you can't do. 9 times out of 10, they're losers. Won't amount to anything. Gonna be like they're gonna be in the same position in 10 years. They're never gonna improve. Because one thing I've realized is people that are focused on winning, they don't care about other people. They don't care about what he's doing or what she's got going on. No, they're worried about them. you know. So when I see people worried about, oh, this man said this about me, oh, she said this about me, why do you care about what a loser thinks? They're losers for a reason. They're fat, they're out of shape, their breath stink, they ain't trying to get no money. So what are you worried about them? No, focus on winning, man. Focus on putting that energy into whatever it is that you got going on. And I've taken that, and that's where I'm at in life right now. Fuck what everybody else think. I'm not worried about that, because guess what, man? When it finally starts going your way, when things finally take off, they're gonna be the first ones. See, I told you so. That's why their opinions. That's why their opinions are always gonna be irrelevant. They would rather watch from the stands and hope you fail than put the work in themselves. That's a loser mindset. So I need you guys to, man, take heed to that, man. Take that information in. Fuck what everybody else talking about, man. Focus on you. Use that pain and frustration, pour it into yourself, pour it into whatever it is that you have. You need to have goals, yo. You need to have goals. You need to have something you're working towards. Otherwise, it's not going to work.